Good morning. You're watching News for Hearing Impaired. I'm Preeti. With me is Meera. First, the headlines. Domestic flight operations begin from today. Limited flight operations for Andhra Pradesh from 26th and West Bengal from 28th of this month. Health Ministry issues guidelines for international arrivals at air, land and seaports. Mandates a 14-day quarantine with 7 days of institutional quarantine followed by 7 days of home isolation. Also issues guidelines for domestic travel. Railways all set to carry 36 lakh migrant workers over the next 10 days. Over 46 lakh migrant workers transported so far. Bookings begin for 100 new pairs of special trains to be run from 1st of June. Active COVID-19 cases across the country rise to 73,560 with 54,440 recoveries and 3,867 fatalities. Globally, confirmed cases rise to over 53 lakh with over 3.4 lakh deaths and 21 lakh recoveries. Heatwave conditions continue in several parts of West and North India. The Met Department issues a severe heatwave warning for the next 4 to 5 days in isolated pockets of Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Vidarbha and Telangana. And Eid-Ul-Fitr celebrations in India and around the world with traditional fervour and gaiety. President, Vice President and Prime Minister extend festive greetings to all on the occasion. Indian skies have opened up for domestic passenger services from today after a gap of 2 months. The first flight flew from Delhi at 4:45 a.m. and reached Pune in Maharashtra today. Vistara Delhi to Bhubaneswar flight also departed from IGI airport today. The first arrival at the airport will be from Ahmedabad in Gujarat at 7:45 a.m.
और प्रिकॉशनरी तरीके से चीज़ें सारी मेंटेन हो रही हैं एंड पॉसिबली एवरी काइंड ऑफ स्टूडेंट जितने हैं सभी के लिए राहत है कि हमें जाने को मिल रहा है ना, जो कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। मे बी प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, चाहे वो 2-3 साल से जॉब कर रहे हैं एंड अच्छे तरीके से सारे काम हो रहे हैं एयरपोर्ट पर। आई कैन सी दैट।
ये अच्छा लग रहा है। 2 महीने से दिल्ली में फंसे हुए थे और अभी जाने का मौका मिल रहा है तो बहुत खुशी हो रही है। 3 घंटे पहले पहुंचना है एयरपोर्ट, मिनिमम 2 घंटे और मैक्सिमम 4 घंटे। और एक कैब में 2 लोग से ज़्यादा अलाउ नहीं हुए, तो मैं अकेला कैब करके आया हूँ यहाँ पे।
Domestic flights from all states except for Andhra Pradesh, which will start on May 26th, and West Bengal, which starts on May 28th, commence operations from today. There will be limited flights from Mumbai as per approved 1/3 schedule from other airports in the state. For Tamil Nadu, there will be a maximum of 25 arrivals in Chennai, but there is no limit on number of departures. For other airports in Tamil Nadu, flights will operate as in other parts of the country. Airports across the country are prepared to ensure safety of air travelers, with contactless and digitized air travel becoming the new normal. Food and beverage and retail outlets are open at Indira Gandhi International Airport, Terminal 3. It must be noted that all international scheduled commercial passenger flights remain suspended. Let's take a look at the standard operating procedure on resumption of flights. These include limited operations, that is 1/3 to be permitted. Airlines should adhere to lower and upper limits of fares prescribed by the ministry during the period of COVID-19 pandemic. No physical check-in at the airport's counters would be allowed. Passengers with confirmed web check-in shall be allowed at the airport. Self-declaration and Arogya Setu app status is mandatory. Children below 14 years are exempted. Passengers need to wear protective gear, that is face masks, throughout the journey. No meal services on board. No on-board sale of any item. Passengers not to be permitted to consume any eatables inside the aircraft. No paper or magazine will be available in the aircraft. Cabin crew is required to wear full protective suit. Airlines to do health checkup of all the crew regularly. Frontline airline staff at the counters to wear mandatory protective gear and ensure social distancing while accepting baggage. Initially, passengers would be entitled to carry one hand baggage and one checked-in baggage. Use of baggage trolleys to be minimized. Passengers to report to the airport 2 hours before the departure time. Boarding to commence 60 minutes before departure and the gate to close 20 minutes before departure. Staggered sequential boarding in batches of 10 to be practiced. Body temperature screening of the passengers entering in the terminal area and at boarding point to be ensured. Passenger to travel in authorized taxi or personal vehicle following the norms specified by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Passengers to adhere to the social distancing norm which would be specified at the airports through markings like circles. Airports to ensure easy availability of hand sanitizer at all entry and touch points. Airports to ensure sanitization of the buses used by passengers at regular intervals and all washrooms at airports to be sanitized continuously. If any passenger feels uncomfortable, fatigued or has cough, it should be brought to the notice of the crew for handling the passenger. Vulnerable passengers such as very elderly people with comorbidities, pregnant women, passengers with ailments are advised to avoid air travel. Airlines to ensure that aircraft are sanitized after every trip and at the end of the day. States have come up with their own advisories after the federal government announced resumption of domestic air travel from Monday. Up next, we'll take a look at this map for more clarity. First, we start with Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir has called for a 14-day institutional quarantine. Next is Ladakh. Ladakh has announced a gap of 1 hour between the landing of 2 flights so that 1/3 capacity of the airport is maintained in keeping with social distancing norms. Extensive arrangements are being made for web check-in, screening of tickets through camera and provision of sanitizers. Arogya Setu app is a must for all those above 14 years of age. Passengers need to check in 2 hours before the flight. Counters will close 1 hour before departure. Airlines will have to provide hand sanitizer, gloves and masks to their passengers. Passengers have to give a self-declaration for 14-day quarantine upon reaching their destination. As of now, about 50 passengers per flight have been permitted. If any passenger is found symptomatic, their ticket will be adjusted. In Punjab, Punjab has mandated a 14-day home quarantine for all domestic air travellers. In Uttar Pradesh, 14 days home quarantine is a must except for those who are transiting the state. Travellers need to register on reg.upcovid.in. They will receive a message following which they will be able to exit the airport. Those who test negative on the 6th day of home quarantine would be free to move out of their homes. A poster will be pasted outside the home of the person in home quarantine. The state government will monitor them during the duration of the quarantine. If home quarantine is not possible, the government will provide facilities for institutional quarantine. And now Maharashtra. It has called for minimum possible flights from Monday till the time Mumbai airport plans and fine-tunes the airport operations. International transfer passengers, medical emergencies, students and cases on compassionate grounds shall be allowed to fly into Maharashtra. And now Goa. Goa has asked passengers to carry a COVID negative certificate.
देखिए, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, हम सारा सोशल डिस्टेंस, डिसइंफेक्शन, ये सारा आपको जो दिखाया हमने, कॉन्टैक्टलेस एंट्री, कॉन्टैक्टलेस चेक इन, कॉन्टैक्टलेस सिक्योरिटी चेक, सोशल डिस्टेंसेस व्हाइल यू आर सिटिंग, कॉन्टैक्टलेस डिपार्चर टू द बोर्डिंग से पहले भी एयरलाइंस उनका टेम्परेचर लेगी, अंदर आने से पहले भी टेम्परेचर लेगी। तो बहुत सारे प्रोटोकॉल्स हैं जो ऑलरेडी इन प्लेस है, जो मैंने आपको दिखाए हैं। और हम मंडे को ये एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि हमारे पास 15 अराइवल्स हैं, इसका मतलब 15 डिपार्चर्स भी होंगे हमारे पास। जिन एयरपोर्ट्स को हम कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं बेसिकली, वो मेजर एयरपोर्ट्स हैं बॉम्बे, दिल्ली, हैदराबाद, बेंगलोर और मैसूर भी एक अलायंस एयर की फ़्लाइट है। तो ये ऑपरेशंस हमारे सुबह से लेके हमारे जो लास्ट डिपार्चर होगा वो 8:30 बजे होगा।
And in some more good news, the Civil Aviation Ministry has announced the calibrated resumption of Udan flights. In a tweet, it was said preference has been given to flights connecting northeast region, hill states, islands and short-haul routes. This is Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri's tweet. He also states that further details will be issued by the ministry. And up next, we'll take a look at the general guidelines issued by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. All the passengers are advised to download Arogya Setu app on their mobile devices. States shall ensure that only asymptomatic passengers are allowed to travel. Social distancing, face masks and good personal hygiene has to be practiced. Asymptomatic passengers are advised to monitor their health for 14 days after the journey. Passengers with symptoms for COVID-19 will be isolated and will be taken to the nearest health facility. Passengers with moderate or severe symptoms will be admitted to a dedicated COVID facility. Also, passengers with mild symptoms will be tested and they will have the option of either quarantining themselves at home or at a public or private COVID facility. The Union Home Ministry has also issued a fresh standard operating procedure for the movement of Indians stranded abroad, for those stranded in India and those wanting to travel abroad. First, the standard operating procedures for Indians stranded abroad. Indians stranded overseas need to register with the Indian missions. Following this, the Ministry of External Affairs will prepare a flight or ship-wise database of travellers, including their COVID-19 test results and contact details. Now, these people will travel by non-scheduled commercial flights as allowed by Civil Aviation Ministry and the ships allowed by the ministries or departments concerned. The MEA will appoint nodal officers in states and union territories for coordination. Priority will be given to those in distress, and it will continue. Those travelling with need to pay fares specified by carrier airlines and ships. The schedule will be put up by the MEA at least 2 days prior to the date of departure. And all travellers will need to give an undertaking that they are travelling at their own risk. And now we get to the standard operating procedures for people stranded in India. They will have to apply to the Civil Aviation Ministry or any agency designated by the ministry. Citizens of destination countries, green card or OCI card holders with a visa valid for at least 1 year can travel out of India. Indians can fly out in case of medical emergencies or death if they have a visa valid for at least 6 months. The Civil Aviation Ministry will ensure destination countries allow entry of air passengers before tickets are confirmed. Only non-scheduled commercial flights can fly out of India. Thermal screening is mandatory and only those with no symptoms will be allowed to board the flights. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has also issued certain guidelines for international arrivals at air, land or sea ports in India. These include passengers will give an undertaking before boarding for India that they would undergo mandatory quarantine for 14 days. 7 days paid institutional quarantine at their own cost. 7 days isolation at home with self-monitoring of health. All passengers are advised to download Arogya Setu app. Only asymptomatic passengers will be allowed to fly. Passengers arriving through land or sea ports will also have to follow the same protocol. Many Indians stranded overseas continue to be repatriated as part of Vande Bharat mission. Yesterday, 680 more people have returned on 3 flights from Toronto, Singapore and London. Mission Vande Bharat exemplifies the efficient teamwork between Air India Express, MEA India and our missions abroad. The latest flight to arrive under Vande Bharat mission was from Muscat, which landed at Gaya airport today. 132 passengers were on board, including 116 who stayed in Bihar, while 16 went to Jharkhand. Earlier, a special flight from London landed first in Mumbai and then Indore. 93 passengers were on board. These passengers will be quarantined for 14 days. Also, a flight landed in Mumbai and Bengaluru as well from Manila. The passengers expressed happiness and thanked the government. A flight also landed in Kochi from Singapore yesterday evening. Doha to Gaya Vande Bharat flight will return with 146 passengers on board, while Air India flight from Moscow or Delhi scheduled for 11:50 a.m. today has been delayed by up to 24 hours due to technical reasons. Embassy of India in Russia will inform about the revised time of departure. Let's get you an update on Shramik trains now. Indian Railways will operate 2,600 Shramik special trains over the next 10 days. It hopes to ferry 36 lakh migrant labourers. Meanwhile, Indian Railways has run more than 2,813 Shramik special trains carrying over 37 lakh passengers till 10 a.m. on 24th of May. Nearly 60% trains originated from Gujarat, Maharashtra and Punjab and are majorly destined for Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. IRCTC and Railways have mobilized resources to ensure regular supply of meals and water to the Shramik special trains and minimize inconvenience caused to the passengers. Meanwhile, 1,000 ticket counters have been opened across the country for 200 mail express train tickets starting June 1st. For the convenience of the passengers, Railways is also mulling to open more counters. And up next, we'll get you an account of the active COVID-19 cases across the country, which have risen to 73,560 with 54,440 recoveries and 3,867 fatalities. Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat and Delhi continue to be worst affected states in the country. Globally, the confirmed cases have risen to over 53 lakh with over 3.4 lakh deaths and 21 lakh recoveries. The worst affected, that is United States, has almost close to 1 lakh deaths. The total number of COVID-19 cases in US has crossed the 1.6 million mark, while the death toll stands at 97,686. Meanwhile, White House has announced that it is prohibiting travel to Brazil as the death toll continues to rise there. Countries where travel has already been banned by US include Europe, United Kingdom and China. New restrictions would help ensure foreign nationals do not bring additional infections to the US, but would not apply to the flow of commerce between the two countries. Brazil has confirmed more than 3,63,000 cases of COVID-19 with over 22,600 deaths, becoming the world's second worst hit country. The actual number of cases and deaths is believed to be higher than the official figures as disclosed by the government, as Brazil's testing capacity still lags behind. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said that the government plans to reopen primary schools on 1st of June as the government seeks to loosen the lockdown measures imposed to stop the spread of COVID-19. Schools were closed since March 20th, except for key workers, as COVID-19 cases had surged in the United Kingdom. Speaking at the daily briefing, Prime Minister said that he was setting out the government's intention so that teachers and parents could plan in earnest for schools to resume in just over a week. He said the formal decision would be taken as part of the 3-week review into the lockdown measures. Meanwhile, teaching unions have expressed concerns over the safety of bringing students back into the classroom this early. However, UK has reported over 2.6 lakh COVID-19 cases and more than 36,000 deaths so far. A team of Chinese epidemiology experts have arrived in Peru to collaborate with its health authorities in the fight against COVID-19. The visiting doctors will exchange knowledge with doctors and health experts of Peru on the COVID-19 prevention, control, treatment, care and research. The Peruvian government has adopted a state of emergency, including quarantine and curfew of 70 days since March 16th, but has extended until June 30th to control the COVID-19 outbreak. However, Peru has reported over 1,19,000 COVID-19 cases and 3,456 deaths, according to the data given so far. And back home, with temperatures soaring above 45 degrees Celsius mark across parts of northern India, the Indian Met Department has issued a quote-unquote red warning for Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh and Rajasthan for the next 2 days. An orange warning has been issued for heat waves of eastern Uttar Pradesh. The Met Department has also cautioned that temperatures could soar up to 47 degrees Celsius in some parts over the next 2 to 3 days. Now, this is for the first time this summer season that a red warning has been issued for heat wave. A red warning has been issued to caution people not to step out between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. when the intensity of the heat is the most. Now, according to the Met Department, relief is only expected after 28th of May as a western disturbance is likely to bring some rainfall.
जो हमारे अंडर में 11 स्टेशंस हैं, उनमें से 7 स्टेशंस ने हीट वेव हुआ है, जहां पे मैक्सिमम जो है नागपुर में रहा है 46.5 डिग्री, उसके बाद अकोला में 46 डिग्री रहा हुआ है. ठीक है, और अभी जो हमारी प्रेजेंट मॉडल कंडीशन है उसके हिसाब से विदर्भ में ऑल 5 डेज जो है हमारी हीट वेव वार्निंग है.
The COVID-19 outbreak may have dampened Eid celebrations across the country, but it could not dampen the spirit of the festival. People were seen wearing masks across the streets and following social distancing norms. Respecting the nationwide lockdown, people have decided to offer prayers at their homes. And these are the visuals we're getting for you from Amritsar. And we can see the norms of social distancing being practiced while people offer prayers on the occasion of Eid. President Nath Kovind has greeted fellow citizens on the eve of Eid-Ul-Fitr. In his message, the president said, and I quote him, "The festival is an expression of love, peace, brotherhood and harmony." He said on this occasion, people reaffirm the belief in sharing with caring for the most vulnerable sections of the society. The president called upon people to carry the spirit of giving more vigorously at a time when people are faced with an unprecedented crisis created by COVID-19 virus. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu in his message said, "The festival fortifies the spirit of compassion, charity and generosity in the society, and it is an occasion for families and communities to come together." He said, however, this year, as India and the world continue to fight the relentless battle against the spread of COVID-19, people are celebrating almost all traditional festivals at home. Naidu said people have to be content with a subdued celebration and adhere to the safety norms of social distancing and personal hygiene. Also, Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended greetings on Eid-Ul-Fitr. Taking to Twitter, he said, and I quote him, "May this special occasion further the spirit of compassion, brotherhood and harmony. May everyone be healthy and prosperous." That's it in this edition of the news this hour. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.